So I decided that I needed to return because I received a call today that made me realize that maybe this community, although it has not grown as I think it should, and that I personally could benefit from, because I definitely need the support. Maybe I am actually, by trying to create this community where we all can exist and all have a voice on some level, maybe certain people are being reached that I was unaware of. And based on the individual, who they are, the fact that they actually reached out and had apparently listened, I've decided that this must move forward because it is having the impact that it needs to have. It is hard sometimes when we're at this point in our life for people to really listen. They can't process because they have not been here. And they may never be here. Or by the time they're here, it's somewhere down the road that they are like, wow, how did I get here? I never thought I could. Or maybe even this, I know this, I speak about my youth, that in my youth, I can remember many of the behaviors, I can't remember the justifications. And so maybe they've already come out of this period and they've tried to push it so far behind them that they don't want it to come back at all, that they've almost done all they can to remove it from existence. And it's not that they can't acknowledge that time was there. It's that they cannot allow themselves to focus on it at all. And in order to be a benefit to someone here, at this point where you find yourself, where I find myself, and again, those may not exactly match up, but you're here for a reason, and it's got to be similar in nature based on the discussion that's being put forth here, the subject matter. It's hard to help somebody that's here. I understand that. It's frightening, especially if you yourself are struggling. Here's a concept. I'm going to throw this out here. I need you to understand this. The best thing to do to get out of this situation, I truly believe, and I am working hard to do this, but not as hard as I should be. I'll be honest about that. But the one point that I really think I need is that companionship to give me that need for not just existence, but living. And, you know, you can say about loving yourself and all that. I don't want to hear that anymore. I've told y'all. If you really don't believe that, the individual called, threw that out there, and I said, do you really want me to start talking about myself for an hour and tell you how great I am? They said, well, perhaps it is. And they're right on the spiritual aspect, that maybe I am not leaning on God enough. There's probably some truth in that. I know there is. I also know that God knows I know that. I'm not going to try to justify it. I'm just going to say simply that in that aspect, that is a personal relationship that has to be worked out with me humbling myself and acknowledging and accepting truth. But that being stated, that's also, the spiritual is very important. For me, that's the basis, that's the foundation. And it has to be the pillar, it has to be that foundation upon which all else is built. Yet I do know that even Scripture speaks about those who can live alone and those who cannot. Paul wrote of them, and he's talking about more physical intimacy, but I have discovered I am an emotional intimacy type person that is just as necessary for me as some people that cannot withstand having going without physical intimacy, and thus it is better for them to marry than burn. That's me. It is better for me to have someone in my life than to burn, and it's not talking about the burning of desire. I understand there, but the truth of the matter is, those people burn with that desire eventually give in to that desire, and ultimately put themselves in a situation where their soul's at risk as well. If you read the scripture, so that being said, what I'm saying is there's this longing that's burning for me that I need that connection so badly that almost I go so far as, and I try to remind myself, what profit the man if he gaineth the whole world and loseth his own soul? Sometimes, though, that should be enough. But it doesn't get rid of that desire. I will tell you that. I long to have connection. Connection is the key. It is the key for me moving forward. It is not going to happen if that does not happen. I am working as hard as I can. And so back to what my point was, it was going to be shocking, and is this. That people like us that are here, and whatever reason we're here, whatever form of how you perceive where you're at or others, you can acknowledge what they're seeing. Find someone else like you. It doesn't have to be exactly the same, but it needs to be that you are both in need of someone. Two needy people don't seem like they will work. The problem is two needy people usually don't give the other needy person a chance. One of the two won't. The other one realizes that if you need someone and here's someone that understands you, why wouldn't that be the person that you want to roll with? The ride and die, your mate, whatever. Because that's the person you should cherish. That's the person where you're going to find delight. Because they're not going to judge you, but they're also going to be honest with you. They're not going to ever run, and they'll stand firm. They may say things that hurt your feelings, but they're going to love you more deeply than anyone you've ever met. I found a couple people like that. I pray that one of them will eventually figure that out for themselves and quit running aimlessly. Let's put it that way. There's another at this point that is young, and they too aren't running near as aimlessly, but they have not quite figured out the path where they need to be and how they need to connect. There is yet one more, which is where I am. Where my faith stands right now. After God, this is where my faith stands. That I know that they would cherish the kind of love and support that I know could exist, and that they long for the delight that could exist, but because of where they are and all they've experienced, as I am not them, I cannot declare whether it's fear, uncertainty, doubt. Doubt and uncertainty is basically the same, but, and, 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 You know, their insecurities, whatever it may be, they have not been willing to say yes. I'm fully committed. Let's roll. They allude to there's something there, but they just can't get over that small obstacle because they're so used to standing on their own. And there it is. What is it? No one man is an island unto himself. Well, no one individual. You are only as strong as the weakest link in your support group. Chain, the link in the chain that is your support group. However you want to view it, that's accurate. No one does go through this life totally alone, and they are only as strong as those they have around them for support. And so, I return. Not saying that I am as stable as I'd like to be. Not saying that there's not a part of me that still is willing to just exist rather than fight for something that is not guaranteed. But I'll go back to one of my favorite quotes. Definitely my favorite last line of a film. I tend to get a little off, so please forgive me, but the gist will be correct. It's at the end of the film 7. The last audible words are, Ernest Hemingway once wrote, "The world is a beautiful place and worth fighting for." I agree with the second part. That's where I'm at. I've decided I'm not going to give up the fight, not yet, as there are some that on some level are still needing to know that I'm fighting, because they look to me, they lean on me when they're in the midst of a fight. Now I'm asking somebody, please, if you ever considered it all, you know me, I need someone to lean on. I need someone to spend my time with. I have given my whole life to being there when people needed me. Now I need someone that wants me to be their ride or die, their number one. And let me make this clear, because I am at this point in my life. Ladies, if you're one of those people that know me, you think, I use a friend, that's not what I'm asking from you. No. My friendship slots are filled for women. Y'all take that how you want. The rest of you listening, I don't care. I know what I need in life. Could I use a best male friend? I have friends that I'm very close to that are males, and they're as close of friends as I'll ever have. They don't live next door to me. They don't live in the same town as me. I will always love them. And they will always be considered on the top of my list. But yeah, I need somebody I can hang out with day in and day out. And then I need that from a woman, but not as a friend. I'm 51 years old. I don't have time to waste on friendships. You want a friend, go find a little boy. I'm a grown man that realizes the reality of how much time is left. You're here, you're going to commit. You're going to be the ride and die. It's going to be me and you, and that's it. That doesn't mean you can't have other friends. That just means, well, let's just be blunt. You're not going to spend all your time with me day in, day out. Lean on me when you need something. Physically be the exception. In other words, financially, emotionally, mentally, you're here leaning on me, but then you want to go out and spend physical time with someone else, and even to the point of intimacy with someone else. Nope. Sorry. Not happening. I don't need that. I won't accept that. I don't need female friends. Anyways, this isn't supposed to be totally about me. It got down in those weeds. But I want you to understand it and examine that thought for yourself. You gotta understand you're at a point that what you need is someone that understands you, that will be there for you in the good and the bad, and that you can be certain they're not going anywhere. They're sticking. So it's a matter of taking your time, making sure the nature of them is right. In other words, that they have enough character and moral standards that when they speak, you can take it as truth. And at the same time, don't accept anything less than what is necessary. That's the reason I said no. I've told a couple of them, I'm sorry, you're talking about you can't, well then I can't stay. I know right now you've been able to whine and cry to me and lean on me some, and I know it helps you, but it ain't helping me because you can't commit, and if you can't commit, then see ya. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm not going to say I don't mean to be that way because obviously I'm choosing to be that way. But I need you to understand that's a necessity for me, and there's a good chance that's what's a necessity for you at this point, or you wouldn't be here either. So be honest with people, because that's why I got that phone call, and they thank me for. When I say that, let me be honest. I thank them. I think in a way they were grateful we could have the conversation, and I was honest with them and not frustrated, because I wasn't. But it's time to be honest in our lives, and that means at all times, and not kowtowing or catering to what we think will, create more peaceful moments between us and other individuals. That's not what it's about. It's about creating honesty in all communications and all relationships. And so if you're at a point, once again, I believe if you're here, you're at that point, that you need a ride and die, both in your life of intimacy and the friendship realm, to make that clear. And don't accept anything less than an individual that has that qualification in both areas. The one for your friend and the one for your your mate. And if those happen to be one and the same, your best friend, your mate, and I believe a lot of times that's where it should end up eventually, that's awesome. And some people believe we got to start there. Okay, I don't disagree that it should start there. But at 51, I got time to figure out whether you're my best friend or not. Okay? At 51, I need to know that what you're looking for are the same things I'm looking for. We can build from there, or arrange marriages throughout history that work based on just having common goals. And that, you get to a point you can't envision your life without that individual. That's how we gotta go about it. That's how we'll go about it. Forget all this romantic Western bull crud. I don't have time for it. But I believe, and I know, and I feel with all certainty that when I get there to when I've gotten back a life where I have someone that's riding down, I'm moving and going, everything else is going to get back. The movement, all that, the attitude, all of it. Because I'm already wanting it back, and I'm already pushing for it on some of them. I just need that one little element to take it to the next level. And when that happens, this is what it's going to look like. To quote another individual, Freddie Prinze Sr., looking good. This is accountability. like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, and share. And let's get this community built up to 50 so I can give away some of those new wave dumbbells. All right.